Holy shit, the delirium. I don't... if anyone that's watching this is wondering, I have pigtails in honor of a story for later.
Like what kind of sexual story? But I don't know why I went there in my head. I'm sorry.
But they don't have online booking, and the thought of sitting there and trying to talk to them and look at my schedule is really flustering me. And I don't want to buy a goddamn pair of shorts. I want you to shorten my hair.
I get you.
Add to the list is a pair of sandals that are good for walking in that don't look like I'm a softball player. Maybe it's that you can complain. It's just you should complain with perspective.
Exactly. And
I can't remember a time when I wasn't handed a baby.
People do ask, what do you want to do when you're older? I don't fucking know. What are you going to do? How many do you want to be a mom? I don't fucking know. Not right now. I don't even like kids. So it's just weird how people and adults and we thought we knew what we wanted, and now it's so different.
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first with what I can remember of my fake projected life?
You go first. I want to hear it.
So I'm like, okay, so I graduate college, I'm 21, 22, and then I'm married, and then I wait 2 years. So I start having kids when I'm like 23 or 24. What? And then I'm going to have like 2 to 4 kids, and I think I thought I wanted to be a teacher. Ooh, and at one point I thought I wanted to be a physician. What? I don't even know. I thought 30 would feel so old, and I thought I would be like cruising right into family life at 30. I don't even think I considered that I would leave Wisconsin at that point.
Yeah.
Everything was delirious. The way I put on makeup was absurd. Raccoon eyeliner, so thick. Mascara. I don't think I ever put on lipstick because I have small lips and I couldn't really figure it out. Now, if I would have married, that's the worst part of it. If I would have married the person that I thought was appropriate for me at that age, I'd be done with my starter marriage and on to the next one. We've talked about this. The core of me still feels like the same person. I don't think I fully grew into myself and felt comfortable expressing myself until my late 20s.
Mm-hmm.
I think part of me knew I kind of liked testing the boundaries and pushing the edges on some stuff.
Until you start learning who you are as a person and meeting other people and friends and jobs and life situations, I don't think you can really figure yourself out until you get out. That's why I'm so glad that we just ended up both moving. That was really good for me. I needed to get out of my, current environment.
Like giving your past self a hug and just being like kind and gentle to the people we were back then, even though that bitch had some dumbass ideas.
Like when we would get married and kids, I was the same way. It was right after college, you get married, wait a couple years to enjoy married life, then have kids, probably 3. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe that's the number I picked, but I knew I wanted more than one because I'm a single child and I don't love it. I don't know. I just thought I would be old enough in my early 20s to marry somebody, which is ridiculous. Do you remember when we took those, like, they're literal tests on what, like, they try to path out your career? It's the stupidest shit in the whole world.
You could be a farmer, a teacher, a doctor, an engineer, or like a stay-at-home mom.
I knew I didn't want to be a teacher because my parents were teachers. I knew I didn't want to be a nurse because I don't like blood. And we already talked about how I'm not going to wipe your ass. You got to wipe your own. And I tried to do financing, and that is too much for my brain. So it's just interesting because I feel like a career is such a big part of identity too. And I think it's really shitty that adults and or others try to pinpoint that on kids at such an early age, because me and my cousin had this whole plan when we were younger. I don't even know if we were going to move to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Am I saying that right?
That's okay. Is part of the story that you didn't know how to pronounce the city, or do you just not know how to pronounce it?
I think I'm having some pregnancy brain. Minneapolis. Why is that adding another thing? Minneapolis? Okay.
Minneapolis sounded really cool.
To guess what? Guess what we wanted to be in Minneapolis?
Dancers.
Close. Actresses.
Not strippers.
Actresses.
You guys wanted to be actresses in Minneapolis?
I'm never gonna let this down.
Were you going to be in a Fleet Farm commercial?
Bro, I don't know what we were thinking. That's how delusional we were. I don't know why it was Minneapolis that we thought, but that was like the cool. So delusional.
This is incredible.
You're right. Every time it's like, okay, 21, I've got to figure it out. 23, definitely no. I've definitely got to figure it out now. 27, I think I finally got it. And it's like shit. Every couple years, I'm like, dang it, I didn't have it figured out. I do now, and then I know it's gonna just keep going as we get older.
Imagined what my life turned into.
Yeah, and I don't want to focus solely on my career, but it's just such a big, it's such a big piece of someone's identity. Normally, they're like, "Oh, what do you do for work?" Well, I don't love that, but it is interesting to me that I remember distinctly in college at one point, I still didn't know what I wanted to do, but someone asked me, and I said, "I'm going to be a businesswoman, and I'm going to make a lot of fucking money," because I was getting pressed by people. And basically people were saying like, you're not going to be successful. You're just going to whatever. I'm like, I'm going to freaking show you. I'm going to go to school for business. That's why I went that route. Because I wanted to prove people wrong. Because
You're like, I'm going to be so adult.
not at all. Sometimes I still question whether I'm adult enough.